The moment the school doors opened, the crowd erupted with cheers, and the summer sun spilled over the graduating class like a blessing. But the camera should have opened on him, a tired single dad in a faded janitor uniform, clutching a wrinkled paper program with trembling hands. "Don't blink," he whispered to himself, "you've waited 18 years for this." And right from this moment, viewers watching can feel the hook tugging at their hearts, because what this man carried on his shoulders wasn't just a mop and a set of keys. It was a lifetime of secrets, sacrifices, and scars he never wanted his daughters to discover. If they're watching, they're already hooked, and if they're new, they'll want to like the video and subscribe, because this is the kind of story that restores faith in humanity. Daniel Brooks stood near the back of the gym, too humble to sit up front with the other parents. His janitor shirt still smelled faintly of bleach because he had cleaned classrooms all night to make sure the school looked perfect for graduation day. The other staff teased him gently for not taking the morning off, but Daniel only smiled. He preferred staying unnoticed. After all, men with his past didn't deserve the spotlight. But today was different. Today, his twin daughters, Lily and Emma, were walking across that stage. His miracle girls. The reason he survived the darkest chapters of his life. The ceremony began, and Daniel's heart thudded with a mixture of pride and disbelief. As their names were called, one after the other, he tried to clap quietly so no one would stare at him. But his eyes glowed with the kind of love that could move mountains. Lily glanced out into the crowd and spotted him, her face lit up. Emma blew him a tiny kiss before accepting her diploma. They didn't care that their dad was standing in a janitor uniform. To them, he was everything. When the applause calmed, Daniel slipped outside, trying to catch his breath. That's when a voice behind him spoke with sharp authority. "Sir, where did you get that tattoo?" Daniel froze. No one ever asked him that question. Not here. Not in this quiet town where he tried to build a new life. Slowly, he turned. A tall woman in immaculate Marine Corps dress blue stood a few feet away, staring at him like she'd seen a ghost. Captain Alexandra Hayes, USMC, decorated, known for being fearless, was visibly shaken. Her hand trembled as she pointed to Daniel's right arm. The ink peeked out from his rolled sleeve. A simple emblem, one few were supposed to recognize. "You shouldn't have that," she whispered. "Only one unit carried that mark, and they're all listed as Kia." Daniel swallowed. He had spent 18 years hiding that exact truth. But hiding was all he knew. He looked down, tugged the sleeve lower, and said softly, "Ma'am, you must be mistaken." She stepped closer. "No, I know exactly what I'm looking at. That's the insignia of Ghost Reaper Unit 9. His muscles tightened. Ghost Reaper, a classified Marine reconnaissance unit wiped out in an ambush overseas. Except Daniel survived. Barely. But survival came with a price, guilt that clung to him like a second skin. Captain Hayes studied him carefully. Why would a school janitor have the tattoo of an elite unit the government declared dead? He had no answer. Words formed in his throat but dissolved before reaching his lips. Before he could react, the doors burst open as his daughters ran outside, laughing, diplomas in hand. They threw their arms around him, unaware of the tension. "Dad, we did it," Lily squealed. Emma hugged him even tighter. "We saw you crying," he chuckled, wiping his eyes quickly, embarrassed. No, dust. Just dust." Hayes watched the scene with growing confusion. The legendary ghost survivor, living as a janitor. A single father, quietly raising two brilliant girls. When the twins went off to take pictures with their friends, she approached again, but her tone had softened. "Why hide who you are?" Daniel sighed. "Because who I was, almost destroyed me. And if the world dug it up, it could ruin everything I built for them." Hayes didn't argue. She'd seen Marines hide behind jokes and bravado, but Daniel hid behind a mop and keys. Still, she had a duty, and she wasn't leaving without answers. She asked if they could talk privately after the celebration. Daniel hesitated but agreed. Hours later, in the empty school hallway he cleaned every night, Daniel finally spoke. He told her about the ambush, the explosion, the gunfire, the screams of his brothers, how he crawled through rubble with broken ribs, dragging an injured private on his shoulders, how he kept fighting long after any man should have fallen, and how, after being rescued, he returned home to find his pregnant wife had died from complications during childbirth, leaving him with newborn twins, and no reason to keep being a Marine. "I didn't quit," he said quietly. "I just chose to be the father they needed instead of the warrior the world expected." Hayes listened, stunned. She had heard stories of the Ghost Reaper survivor, but none matched the humility of the man standing in front of her. He never sought recognition, never used his past for sympathy. He simply lived for his girls. Just then, the twins came down the hallway, searching for him. Lily asked, "Dad, everything okay?" Daniel nodded and looked at them with a newfound steady pride. "Yeah, everything's perfect." Captain Hayes stepped forward and saluted him. A crisp, sharp Marine salute. The kind reserved for heroes. The twins gasped. Teachers peered out of classrooms. The principal froze mid-step. Everyone recognized the honor, even if they didn't know the story behind it. Daniel felt embarrassment at first, his cheeks warm. Then he felt something else, acceptance. For the first time in decades, he allowed himself to stand straight, not as a janitor, but as the Marine he once was. Hayes spoke loud enough for the daughters to hear. "Your father is one of the bravest men this country has ever produced." The twins turned to him in shock. "Dad," he rested a hand on their shoulders. "I wasn't ready to tell you. But everything I did, every sacrifice, was so you two could have a future without the darkness I carried." Emma hugged him first, breaking into quiet tears. Lily joined a second later, whispering, "You're our hero, Dad. You always were." The hallway fell silent except for their soft sobbing. Hayes stepped back, giving them space but acknowledging that some stories deserved to rise from the shadows. Later that night, after the celebration ended and the girls fell asleep, Daniel sat on the porch, breathing in the quiet. He knew life wouldn't magically become easy now. But he finally understood something: his past didn't make him broken. It made him stronger. And his daughters didn't need a perfect father. They just needed him.